and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. It's Friday night. It's Black Friday night, which is something I think we all can embrace. And because, think about it, you're not out throwing elbows or knees into old ladies while you grab electronics. Nope. You are sitting in the quiet comfort of your own home enjoying the Paranormal Portal. And I think that's something we all can appreciate. And God bless you for making the right call. And let's see. What do we got? Well, I'm not alone here. That's the first thing I got to tell you. I got someone to join me here on the portal. This is someone I think you're all familiar with. It's my good right hand. It's Don Longbeard.
Jesus, stop. Hi, how you doing, Brent?
It was all forming in my head, and then it just
your filter kicked in. Right?
It's like I hit a stroke or something. Yeah. All the words went the wrong direction. It's like it's my good hand and right friend, big toe, Don. Thank you. No. Bye. Good night.
No. He got all the way to. At least he didn't add in D hole.
No, you're not my D hole, Don.
Dang.
Nope, you're not that good looking or that rich. So, anyway, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Doing good. Found out today that I am negative for Le Coof.
The Coof.
The Coof.
Don is negative, ladies and gentlemen.
Now I can actually go back to work because they kicked me out because somebody else got it.
Well, I'm glad that you turned out to be just fine.
Yeah, well, no doubt there.
I mean, let's quantify this
without physical.
God knows there's plenty else wrong, but
yes.
At least you're not sick. So welcome, and glad you can be here.
Yes.
Not infecting me, which is always good. Because that's of course the big concern.
Well, if you did have LeCouf, maybe the aliens would leave you alone.
Yeah, that's probably true. Or the voices in my head might settle down, but either way, it's not looking too likely.
It's not looking good. Oh, that's good.
And look and sound healthy. Ken Squatch says, yeah, Don's healthy. Brent and Don, good to see you both.
I had it 2 months ago. I had it for 4 days and I was done.
Yeah, I didn't get that lucky. I rolled a much longer version.
You rolled the snake eyes on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I got doubles or something on that one.
7 and 11.
Yeah, I had to deal with that for quite a while, but I am better. I am doing well.
But I got better.
Which is always good. Speaking of better, we better move along.
You bet.
We got to talk about, of course, if you want to call into the show, you're always welcome to here on the Paranormal Portal, and we'll do our best to keep an eye on the call board. I'm going to pull it up so I can see it better. And the number for the show, of course, is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. That's the numbers for fun here on the Paranormal Portal. So if you got something paranormal you want to discuss, by all means, call the number. Because we'll be waiting.
The number on the wall.
And Don, have you ever gone out and done Black Friday? I'm just curious. Have you ever done that thing?
No, you know what? There was this one time. Mm-hmm. There was this one time at Bandcamp. There was this one time when I was in North Dakota, and I needed toiletries, so I had to go to Walmart, and it just happened to be Black Friday. And I looked at him and I said, I just need to get in and get some shampoo, stuff. No, you can't go in until 8 o'clock. The doors don't open until 8 o'clock. You're a freaking Walmart, right? Yeah, but you know what day it is? I'm like, yeah, it's just like any other day. Yeah. You're standing in my way.
And they're going, yeah, I just need toiletries. Yeah, so we've never heard that one before.
So but they let everybody in, and they had all these, aisles roped off. You can't go here. You can't go there. I'm like, really? Watch this. I snuck over to the
shampoo,
the shampoo and conditioner and pit stick area and went ha. They sold it to me. They didn't say, well, you can't have it.
How'd you get that?
I'm magic.
It's not on sale.
Are you a wizard?
Yeah, a thumping good one, I'll bet.
That's so.
That's cool.
But that's the only time I've been out on.
I've done it.
That was 2015.
Yeah, I think I did it about 3 years ago for the first time, and it was just, in this small town, it doesn't really, it's not like
it's getting worse.
Is it really? Well, I haven't gone in a couple of years, so I don't know. I might have missed all the fun, but I'm always bizarrely blown away watching these people.
These jingle all the way kind
Oh
of
my
people.
God, it's like the running of the bulls in Spain. It really is. It's just like there's not a lot different between the two. In fact, I was going to do a video one year. Just I got some clips of the running of the bulls and then some Black Friday clips, and was going to
Right.
where's the difference here? But it's about the same kind of intelligence at work.
Yeah, you'll get gored by either the bull or the
It
Karen
kind of
running your way. Karen,
the
stop!
the determined Karen charging at you.
Oh my gosh!
I need that TV.
That's mine!
That's so disturbing though, because it's that whole holiday spirit of love and good tidings to everybody around you, unless they got that sale item you need. It's like, the hell with my tidings. I got some new tidings for you.
Cold Stare says, you can't go in that aisle. Can't you see the rope? Yes, I can. Can't you see me duck? No, I jumped over the sale like,
watch this. Hold my beer. Don
watch
said,
me go. Parkour.
Don said, hold my beer.
That I just cracked open in the beer section. Because you wouldn't let me in there either.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But I have done it, and it's an ugly thing. But well, I did find, like, I bought some like $2 packs of socks and stuff like that. It's like, well, it's a hell of a good price, But I don't know. I don't get into that whole charging to save like $50 on something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, people humiliate themselves, and they embarrass the human race. So, whatever. But I'll tell you what, Don. Nothing sets the mood on a Friday night like the news.
The news.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your anchor, Brent Thomas, along with my co-anchor, Mr. Don the Cracklin' Bottle Longbeard.
It was just a piece of paper.
Oh, piece of paper. Sorry. It was loud paper. But we are going to bring you the news, as we've come to know and love it here on the show. Not always is it very newsworthy, but it's always weird stuff. Sometimes just interesting stuff. But at any rate, we're going to bring it to you all the same. And the first one on our news list tonight comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, folks. It's a great site. Please check them out. Science still cannot explain how some people live past 100.
What?
Yeah, I guess that's a big challenge for science to figure out.
Oh my goodness! According to good old George Burns, it was cigars and pickles.
Could be.
Hey, you know what? I got somebody you can ask. Betty White.
Sure. Is she?
She's almost there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's getting
somebody
there.
else is almost there too.
I'm sure there's a lot of them. I don't think it's as rare a thing as it used to be.
No, but science can't figure out how they can do it.
I don't know. Well, some of it's just the luck of the draw. Like, they didn't manage to get run over by anything their whole life, which is a good way to live longer.
They avoided those reindeer.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see what this article says. It's from November 26, 2021. The reason behind the incredible longevity of centenarians, I guess that's what they are, centenarians, Don, continues to remain something of a mystery. A 35-year-old man only has a 1.5% chance of dying in the next 10 years, but the same man at 75 has a 45% chance of dying before he reaches 85.
Is he married?
That would definitely raise that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Clearly, aging is bad for our health. On the bright side, we have made unprecedented progress in understanding the fundamental mechanisms that control aging and late-life disease. A few tightly linked biological processes, sometimes called the hallmarks of aging, include our supply of stem cells and communication between cells act to keep us healthy in the early part of our lives, with problems arising when these start to fail. Clinical trials are ongoing to see if targeting some of these hallmarks can improve diabetic kidney disease, aspects of immune function, and age-related scarring of the lungs, among others. So far, so good. This is kind of a longer article, but I thought it's kind of interesting. So, unfortunately, big unanswered questions remain in the biology of aging. To evaluate what these are and how to address them, the American Federation for Aging Research, a charity, recently convened a series of meetings for leading scientists and doctors. The experts agreed that understanding what is special about the biology of humans who survive more than a century is now a key challenge. These centenarians comprise less than 0.02% of the UK population, but have exceeded the life expectancy of their peers by almost 50 years. Babies born in the 1920s typically had a life expectancy of less than 55. Wow. How are they doing it? Well, we know that centenarians live long because they are unusually healthy. They remain in good health for about 30 years longer than most normal people, and when they finally fall ill, they are only sick for a very short time. This compression of morbidity is clearly good for them, but also benefits society as a whole. In the U.S., the medical care costs for a centenarian in their last 2 years of life are about a third of those of someone who dies in their 70s, a time when most centenarians don't even need to see a doctor. The children of centenarians are also much healthier than average, indicating they are inheriting something beneficial from their parents. But is this genetic or environmental? Centenarians aren't always health conscious. Are centenarians the poster child for a healthy lifestyle? For the general population, watch your weight, not smoking, drinking moderately, and eating at least 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day can increase the life expectancy by up to 14 years compared with someone who does none of those things. Huh. This difference exceeds that seen between the least and most deprived areas of the UK. So intuitively, it would be expected to play a whole role in surviving for a century. Huh. But astonishingly, this needn't be the case. One study found that up to 60% of Ashkenazi Jewish centenarians have smoked heavily most of their lives. Half have been obese for the same period of time. Less than half do even moderate exercise, and under 3% are vegetarians. The children of centenarians appear no more health conscious than their general population either. Compared to peers with the same food consumption, health, wealth, and body weight, however, they have half the prevalence of cardiovascular disease. There is something innately exceptional about these people. The big secret. This is getting kind of long, isn't it? I'll read a little bit more. Could it be down to rare genetics? If so, then there are 2 ways in which this could work. Centenarians might carry unusual genetic variants that extend lifespan, or instead they might lack common ones that cause late life disease and impairment. Several studies, including our own work, have shown that centenarians have just as many bad genetic variants as the general population. Some even carry 2 copies of the largest known common risk gene for Alzheimer's, but still don't get the illness. So a plausible working hypothesis is that centenarians carry rare beneficial genetic variations rather than the lack of disadvantageous ones. And the best available data is consistent with this. So they got different genetics. That stands to reason. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Well, that's a little bit about centenarians for any of you wanting to live over 100 years. I think here's the thing, I mean, if I could age really gracefully and still have physical, ability and be able to get around, be able to make my own choices, do my life without needing a wheelchair or something, not necessarily a wheelchair, but just, that old creaky, achy body and stuff. I think that it would be fun to see how far you can make it. But if your body's a mess, like my body's already a mess, so I don't know what this body's going to do in even 10 years from now. But if it's relatable to age, that it gets worse and worse and worse, I don't think that would be fun. If you're miserable, living a long time would be hell. Mm-hmm. I think it would be. I don't know.
Yeah, if you can't live in semi-comfort, and I don't mean like, this way, but in comfort in your body, then why would you want to?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree completely. I think that that's important, that if these people are living these long lives and have full control of their choices and can live very independently, then that's really exciting.
Right.
Why not? That'd be awesome. But if life sucks and you just get a lot more of it,
yeah,
then that might not be such a good trade. It's like, no, I'm good. Put me under that bus quick. I don't know. Just my thoughts. But anyway, that's kind of cool. It doesn't surprise me much. It's genetic related. I mean, that makes sense. But what the scary version is when they start, well, let's see if we can make that happen for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that movie. That doesn't always work out real well. But that's the first article tonight, folks. And so let's get, shh. Let's do that. Let's Okay. Let's get to tonight's show.
Yeah.
And the next article up on our news list is this is some mysterious lights captured on camera over UK motorway. And I'm going to give a link in this to their TFR listeners because there is visual pictures in this article that I can't give to you, just audio, through audio rather. But the next article is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. Mysterious lights captured on camera over UK motorway. And they are mysterious. I think for those of you looking on YouTube, I think these lights may very well be the dash lights from the car that they're in. Mm-hmm. If it's, I mean, it looks like a car speedometer and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, like a reflection off the window because the window's slanted like this.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yep. So I think that this is probably a picture taken in a car, but the lights up in the clouds, I don't know. That is really bizarre. It says a woman who had been traveling with her partner along M6 recently photographed something unusual in the sky. Kelly Thompson and Stuart Marshall had been driving between Liverpool and Manchester on November 18th at around 6:45 p.m. when they spotted something in the sky above them. The phenomenon, which consists of dots, lines, and streaks, had the appearance of something being projected towards or upwards from the ground. However, there was no sign of anything in the vicinity of the lights that could explain what was producing them. We were just driving and saw these weird lights in the sky. Couldn't really explain it, said Kelly. At first, I thought it was something projecting in the sky from the floor. In the sky from the floor.
I think they mean from the ground.
From the ground. Okay. But I kept looking everywhere and couldn't see anything. When then drove directly under them, and I took pictures because I couldn't explain it. I was baffled. I was in the car with my partner, and he could see it too and was wondering what it was. After the encounter, she checked online to look for possible explanations, but could find none. I started trying to Google what I had seen, but it's hard to put it into words, she said. I also spoke with my friends about it, and the first thing they said was, oh, it's a UFO. But I'm on the fence with that kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it possible these were also something from the car? Since we got the dash lights here, is there something? I don't know. It doesn't say. You see, this follows like a dash line here.
Yeah, it looks like a like you got that control panel right here. It's got like your radio and all your little gigads, your backup, camera and blah 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 blah. So
right. So that's there, but
that's what it looks like to me.
But these don't look like they're from inside the car, do they? I mean, they look like they're definitely on the clouds or probably on the clouds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool. I don't know what they are either. Very interesting. But that's why we love the portal. There they are, folks. And I don't have any more answers than that. That's the second article. What other news do we have? Well, glad you asked, because we got more. The next one is something interesting. I don't know what this means. I saw the headline and I was like, I want to read that because, I don't know, it's kind of an exciting idea. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen, from unexplained-mysteries.com. Never before seen mineral found trapped inside of a diamond. Okay, here it is. A diamond that originated deep beneath the planet's surface has been found to contain a new type of mineral. The bowels of our planet may hold new materials, including some that have long thought to exist but have never actually been seen directly due to the fact that they only form deep down in the high temperature, high pressure conditions of the Earth's mantle. One such example is Davamoite, a type of high pressure calcium silicate perovskite that has never been seen on the surface because it is incapable of forming beyond the planet's interior. Now, however, scientists have, for the first time, identified an actual piece of Davamoite, I don't know, that's as close as I can get it, folks, trapped inside of a diamond that formed 410 miles beneath the Earth before making its way to the surface in Botswana, where it was collected and sent for scientific analysis. To identify the tiny sample of Davamoite trapped inside, scientists use a technique known as synchrotron X-ray diffraction, which focuses high-energy beams of X-rays on certain points. The new mineral, which is thought to have played an important role in the Earth's mantle, has now been officially recognized by the International Mineralogical Association. The work by the science team inspires hope in the discovery of other difficult high-pressure phases in nature, said geophysicist Yinghui Fei. Such direct sampling of the inaccessible lower mantle would fill our knowledge gap in chemical composition of the entire mantle of our planet. Yeah. That's kind of cool. So they found it in a diamond. So
how did they find? How did it come up from 410 feet?
I don't know. Is that by?
Miles?
What?
It was
410 miles. Yeah. It's hard to imagine something migrating up to the crust where people are mining diamonds.
Right.
Unless that's an incredibly deep mine, but I don't think that's probably the case. It's just maybe through tectonic shifts. Maybe it's heaved some stuff from way down.
Lucky diamond.
Yeah, it is. Maybe that's an extra lucky diamond. Yeah, could be. Would seem to suggest as such. Let's get to the next one because we've got 5 minutes before the break, folks. We are burning the night away already on our Black Friday extravaganza here, where you get the whole portal for a low price of free. The next one up is from Unexplained-Mysteries.com. Time traveler warns of impending alien invasion, folks. A man claiming to be from the future has already amassed over 1 billion views on video sharing site TikTok.
Oops.
See, Don, it's a good thing we're on TikTok now.
Yeah, let me do this. Okay. Let me get my tab open.
What was his name?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see.
We'll get to it, I'm sure.
It says, we've heard from a few self-professed time travelers over the years, a trend which gained prominence in the early 2000s when a man named John Titor started to frequent online message boards claiming to be a soldier from the year 2036 who had gone back in time to warn humanity. While Titor was later exposed as a hoax. Oh, really? There have been numerous copycats in the years since, usually with the alleged time traveler making similar claims about future calamities. One of the best-known current examples is a user on TikTok by the name of Aesthetic Time Warper. There's the name.
Yep.
Who, as is typical, has been warning people about the future. One of his predictions in particular has been doing the rounds online over the last few days because it concerns something that he claims is going to happen as soon as next year. Earth, he claims, will be invaded by hostile extraterrestrials known as the Nozick, who will disguise their arrival as a meteor shower for some reason. There will be a very large meteor shower that lasts for 2 weeks, and it will be seen in the northern hemisphere, containing the Nozick message, he said. One of the meteorites will seem different than the others. I think I read this one before, but I'm reading it again. This is because it's a ship landing on Earth, starting preparations for the first Nozick War. I know Zick's coming.
I think, yeah. Yeah, we have.
I know Zick's.
There he is, Aesthetic Time Warper.
It's when you look at some of the other predictions made by Aesthetic Time Warper, however, that you quickly realize how unlikely it is that anything he says will actually happen. According to one of his other predictions, for example, 3 teenagers will open a portal to another universe next month using an egg from a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I definitely read this one before. He also claims Atlantis will be found next year. Oh, and that'll be inhabited by human-like fish. Suffice to say, it's fair to take these predictions with a very large grain of salt indeed. Yeah, sorry I didn't see that repetitive, but it's so weird it's worth going over again. Yeah, I think we can move along from that guy. Human fish, folks. You heard it here.
I'll probably have to get into that. I'll probably forget about it by the time we get to the other side of the break. But anyhow.
Okay. Well, here is another thing. And this is a mega spider so large it can bite through fingernails, Don.
Wow.
Yikes.
Glad they're only on my fingers.
Well, I don't think they stop there, but anyway.
Yeah, they stop right here.
Okay. A zoo in Australia has come into possession of one of the largest funnel web spider specimens ever found. As if the spiders in Australia weren't bad enough already, a gargantuan female funnel web spider measuring a whopping 8 centimeters across was recently donated to the Australian Reptile Park in Somersby, New South Wales, as part of its ongoing anti-venom program. The spider is particularly unusual because funnel webs usually only grow to a maximum of 5 centimeters. So this is 8, 3 more centimeters, which I don't know what that means in inches for sure, but it sounds huge.
Well, it's about 2.5.
That's a big spider.
Per inch.
Yeah.
So you're talking like 3.5 inches.
Yep.
That's, with its legs, I imagine, not the body.
Oh, not just the abdomen or whatever. Yeah. And thorax. In my 30-plus years at the park, I've never seen a funnel web spider this big, said the park's educational officer, Michael Tate. She is unusually large, and if you can get the public to hand in more spiders like her, it will only result in more lives being saved due to the huge amount of venom that they produce. People can bring in collected spiders to the reptile park itself. However, if they can't get to us, we have drop-off zones around Sydney. I'll just put it in this mailbox. Then the Central Coast and Newcastle and all facilities are provided with a spider safety kit to house spiders until the Australian Reptile Park staff can come and pick them up each week. Funnel web spiders are a particularly deadly species, with the largest specimens reportedly capable of biting through fingernails and even shoes.
Oh,
Woof!
good timing.
Good timing, folks. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Unfortunately, we're back into the news. We didn't get this wrapped up before the break, so we're wrapping it up after the break. I got one more article for you here on the Paranormal Portal News, and this article is, this is an interesting one. It has to do with abductions. And let's see what it's saying. All right, get it in possession, switch cameras, because Unexplained-Mysteries.com is telling us, woman claims to have proof that she was abducted by aliens. Yes, you heard that right. This is from November 21st, 2021, so this is fresh off the presses, or real recent. It says, a popular TikTok user maintains that she was abducted by aliens who removed some of her eggs. Shira Lumira Rejoice, who goes by the handle Shira Rejoice, on the popular clip-sharing platform, not only claims that she has been abducted by extraterrestrial visitors, but that she also has proof of this in the form of scarring from the medical procedures that they are performing on her. Her experiences began around 3 years ago when, while attempting to sleep on her sofa, she recalls becoming paralyzed and encountering a mysterious visitor in her home. I was freezing and my body couldn't move, she said. I looked over at the door and it opened, and there's a figure, a holographic-looking human figure. This guy told me, you have 3 hybrid babies. You have 3 of your eggs taken. What? Told me you have 3 hybrid babies. You have 3 of your eggs taken. I initially had no idea of this until I met this man, and my intuition trusted him. I became sober from every stimuli you can think of, drinking, smoking, taking caffeine. I started going out into nature a lot more, healing myself and my body. I ended up changing my entire name because of how drastic this change was for me due to this experience. As for evidence, Shira maintains that an ultrasound scan will reveal ovarian scarring from where the aliens removed her eggs. You can believe me or you don't have to. Just know that not everybody lives in a scientific reality, and some folks live in a very spiritual way, and some experiences really do change people's lives, she said. Well, there you have it. There you have it. I don't know. This is, again, from Unexplained-Mysteries.com. If you want to check out any more of this, the woman claims to have proof that she was abducted by aliens. We'll help you find it. So, I don't know about that, Don. She claims to have proof.
Her name is Shira Rejoice.
Rejoice. Yeah.
Shira Rejoice.
Shira Lumira Rejoice.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah. So she's got a lot of names, as it turns out.
Alien abduction, final part. So she's got a few of them on there.
She does. Yes, she does. I'm sure she must. But there it is, folks. And this has been a production of the Paranormal Portal News.
Good news.
Oof, that was a heck of a news run, wasn't it, Don?
It was.
Yeah, I feel more informed than when we started. How about you?
I am so much more intelligent, sir.
Your IQ just went up.
What's an IQ?
It's just I don't know.
Joe, just
indigestion quotient. Indigestion quotient. I don't know what the hell it is, but I know that we've got some more paranormal fun to get into, folks. What t-shirt are you wearing, by the way, tonight?
Oh, I'm wearing this is from our buddy Marshall.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, big space kahuna.
Big space kahuna. Well, I'm wearing the Cobra Kai, folks.
Cobra Kai!
Spoting the Cobra Kai tonight. I like that show. And if
it was good. Yeah, it's episode, no. The new season starts December.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Next week? The week after?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed those. I'm watching The Wheel of Time now, too, Don.
Yeah. Oh, a new episode came out tonight.
Tonight?
Yep. I'm going to have to go home and watch it.
Tonight, if you're a fan of the Robert Jordan series of books, then
I have to actually work tomorrow.
Damn it. Well, I'll watch it and tell you all about it, Don.
Negative. Negative there, big fella.
I'm just saying it's probably predictable if you read the books, and I know you have read some of them. But yeah, it's a good. If you read the Robert Jordan series of books, a Wheel of Time series, and it's like literally there's like 13 or 12 of them. He passed at the very end, but the last book or two was written by.
11.
There's well, okay,
the last
whatever.
3 books were written by Brandon Sanders.
How many did you read?
I read the first 5.
Oh, okay.
Because he had that car accident.
Yeah.
And there was like 10 years between like the 5th and 6th book.
Yeah, it was
and
huge.
I just lost it. I was like,
yeah, I still stuck in there because when it came out, I kept going. I read all of them.
I have signed books by.
Do you really?
Brandon Sanders.
Oh, by Brandon. Okay.
He's the one that collaborated with the last 3 books.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be 2 books, but he couldn't do it in 2, so he did it in 3.
He did it in 3, folks, but they're excellent books. If you ever have a chance, you have a lot of time because they're huge books. But they are really, really well written. Amazing. He really brings the stories to life. And not that this is what the show is about, but God, I love those books.
Gee, I've read all the first 5 of the books. My goodness, you're mean. Gosh.
All right, let's continue on our Paranormal Portal Fun Fest here with an article we've been going through for a couple shows, but we're going to go back into it because I don't think there's a whole lot left. And
these were good, weren't they?
These were the paranormal visitors. It's otherworldly paranormal visitors list.
Right.
I think there's only a couple more here, so let's get to this. And this is coming from ranker.com, folks, and it's been a really good list. I've really enjoyed this one. But number 11 on this list is They Seem to Sense What Was Troubling the Traveler. This is by Redditor by D. Giner. 13.
How about
DeGener? I don't know.
DeGener? That's where I
go. Sorry. I didn't say D-hole. Was coming back on a plane from a very important job interview and thought I blew it. I was spacing out during the entire flight, and when the plane landed, I finally got up to grab my bags. An older woman 3 aisles down from me looked straight at me and said, "Don't worry, it'll be okay. You'll get it." I reflexively thanked her and ignored what she said, but a few hours later I got a call that I got the job. Only then did I remember what she said. I still don't know why she said that, and how she knew what my problem was. That is really cool. Now, she just could be very telepathic, but that's kind of like really, that's got to be really an odd position to be in, to be thinking someone and then have someone just stranger to come up and remark on that.
Right.
It's like, yeah, get out of my head. You're not allowed.
You don't want to be there much longer. Trust me.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't even go any further with what I was thinking, but yeah. I can make this real uncomfortable quick, lady.
Too late. Yeah.
But very cool. That's awesome. So number 12 on this list is They Recognized the Mysterious Man in a Photo many, many years later. Or many years later. Not too many, it's just one. This is by Skill217 wrote, I used to be a tailor in a suit shop in Edinburgh, and this very odd-looking gentleman came in. Short, big broad smile, always plastered on his face, and weird little black round glasses that looked like they were Victorian or something. But anyway, he was dressed in an old, worn tweed suit and wanted a new one for an event he was going to. He said it was his old fraternity or gentleman's club and gave me a name. I wish I could remember it. It was over 10 years ago, but I feel like I forgot the name right away. I measured him up and gave him various suits to try on, selecting a whole outfit over the course of about 2 hours.
Wow.
The whole time he was asking me a bunch of very strange questions and claimed he could see into a person. And this wasn't my calling, but I was an artist, he could tell by my eyes. He kept writing things down in this weird little journal he had. There was something just incredibly unsettling about it all. Eventually, once I had his outfit ready, he passed me a card and said that I should come along to his meetup. He could introduce me to his colleagues and that they would have many business ventures for me. He laughed and said that the address was very bad to find, but even harder to leave. Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello, Hotel California.
He then paid and left me a huge tip before leaving.
Wow.
When I was tidying up, I found one of his notebooks in the changing room. I snuck a look, and it was full of writing, but it was in some other language and really, really scribbly. There were diagrams for buildings and lots of drawings of crows. He never came back to get the book, and I never went to the address till much later.
Wow.
And I couldn't find it. I gave the book to a friend who thought he could decipher it, but nothing ever came of that. A few years later, I got involved in a charity that deals with people who've suffered terrible facial scars, and one guy I got friendly with had been burned by his father when he came out of the closet. It was horrific stuff that I naively believed was in the distant past. Anyway, his father committed suicide in prison. Later, I saw a photo of him, and holy crap, did he look just like my mysterious stranger. It was uncanny. Now, it had to be a coincidence, as the father had been dead for over a decade, but it added another very weird layer to the whole thing. Yikes. That's pretty wild.
Yup.
Number 13, they may have encountered a magical leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day.
No way.
Hey, let's check it out. And this is by the Celt. Kelt. All right. It says, okay, so this is one that I tell people about from time to time. My friend, who was with me at the time, and I are dead serious when we tell the story. So it was St. Patty's Day in Boston, circa 2017. And a few of my friends and I decided to go to this pub in South Boston. We'd been drinking all day and hadn't eaten much when we showed up at the pub. This place was packed, and the line to get in was egregious. Egregious. My friend Pat and I decided to cross the street to grab a couple of slices of pizza at this hole in the wall, while the rest of our friends hold our spot in line to get into the pub. We order a few slices and sit down, and as we wait, this really old man wearing all different shades of green and carrying a gnarled wooden cane showed up.
Gandalf.
He had no hair, was wrinkled beyond belief, smiled at us with a mouthful of about 6 teeth total, and began to speak. Do you lads mind if I sit here for a wee bit of time? Just need to rest me old legs. My friend and I look at each other and shrug. We figured it was just a homeless guy. And to tell you the truth, we didn't think anything about the thick Irish accent. The old guy sits down and starts to crack some truly crass jokes, wheezing and laughing after each one, cackling and cackling. We'd gotten our food and had almost finished eating when he asked us where we were from. Well, we told him, and then he asked if we were Irish at all, and we told him we were, and where our families had originated from in Ireland. He seemed to really enjoy the fact that we both were of Irish descent. He then stood up, took his walking stick, tapped the table twice loudly and grinned, and then said, not that you need it, good Irish lads like you, but I wish you a good crake and good luck and good night. And right at that point, my phone, which was sitting on the table to my right, started ringing.
Of course.
Our friends called us to tell they were getting close to the front of the line and to get our butts back across the street. Both Pat and I glanced at my phone ringing and then went to say goodbye to the old man, but he was gone.
Yep.
Just literally vanished without a sound. There was a bell on the door to the pizza place that would ding every time someone opened it, and I swear we didn't hear the bell chime. He was just gone. Later in the night, I was stepping out onto the street at an intersection, not really paying attention to traffic. A car was pulling away from the curb behind us and started blasting I'm Shipping Up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys. And as I heard it, I stopped and turned back to my friends to say, I love this song. Right as I stopped, a taxi screamed past me on the street. I missed getting hit by that car by less than a foot. It would have put me in the hospital if it didn't kill me. My friend Pat and I swear that the old guy in the pizza shop gave us some magic good luck charm or something, and it was that random car blasting music that saved my life that night. I know it sounds crazy, but we're certain the old man in the pizza shop was an actual leprechaun. Very cool.
Luck of the Irish?
The luck of the Irish, yeah. Number 14, their piercing blue eyes were menacing for just a moment. This is by Tyrannosaurus Hex. I was a sophomore in college. I walked into my math class like any other day and sat in my usual spot, about 4 seats in the third row. Even though we didn't have assigned seats, there was always a girl sitting 2 seats to the left of me, empty seat between us, and her male friend to her left. And they seemed to just be good friends, always laughing, never any reason to give me a concern. Well, this day in particular, I sat down, got my spiral and pencil out, and just quietly sat there looking forward and thinking about what I was going to do after class. Suddenly, I got this eerie feeling. I looked up to my left, and my heart practically stopped. The girl was staring straight at me, blank face, and her eyes were shining like a bright, piercing electric blue, shining like lasers. Nothing at all natural. I can't explain accurately. I was basically paralyzed and couldn't move or say anything. I eventually blinked and looked forward and then looked back, and the girl's head was turned back to her friend as she was talking again. About 2 years later, I was with friends, and we were driving to a restaurant. Traffic was building up since it was rush hour. We were stopped in the right lane, and I'm in the back seat, and I happened to look up diagonally to the left, and through the windshield, I look into the car sitting in the lane next to us. Its back bumper is parallel to our front bumper, so I can see the driver easily. He's turned almost completely around and looking back at me, staring intensely. Even from that distance, I could see his eyes were that piercing, bright, laser-like blue, and I froze again. Just like the last incident, I was eventually able to blink, look away, and then immediately look back, and the man was turned forward. The light turned green, and we all started moving forward. It's been about 15 years, and I haven't experienced anything like that again, but it screwed with my mind for a while. Yeah, 2 times, Don? 2 times?
That would be twice? He did this twice, huh?
Yeah, he experienced people with electric blue eyes twice.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's very strange. Because it almost seems like someone's keeping tabs on this guy.
Right.
You know, like through the years, he's being perceived by... And I don't know that the people themselves even know. It's like it's almost like superimposed on them.
Right. Well, and that's, I wonder too, is there a certain situation that happens during those times, like the second time, that... Now, was it the same eyes or was it the same person?
Same eyes, just
same
different
eyes,
people
right.
completely.
So
Yep.
I wonder if there's something that's triggering a memory in his brain about maybe there's something about maybe they looked alike or but there are people who have these ice blue eyes,
Oh, sure.
and stuff. So I mean, laser blue eyes.
Yeah, he said they actually were like light. It wasn't just a blue eyes. It was
like doing the Sasquatch thing, right?
Yeah, except a blue color. Yep.
Huh.
Maybe a Sasquatch thing. Yeah, but I whatever that is, that bioluminescence or whatever. Weird though. Number 15, they showed up to help out of nowhere on the hiking trail. This is by Mr. Striver. And I was out hiking on a trail above a screen slope overlooking a river. Saw a dude and his dog on a trail on the other side of the river, and a short time later, a piece of trail collapses under my foot, and I fall down the scree slope. I don't know what a scree slope is, but it sounds like it's not fun. A nice bush stops me, and I hang out for a few minutes before trying to get back at the trail. Dude and dog come along and stop to check on me, helping me up the 3-foot wall the trail is built on. There are no ways across that river for more than a mile in either direction. Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Huh.
So the guy just showed up on his side and
yeah.
lent a hand. Maybe there are these extra ability people around. You ever see those videos of that woman in some other country where she phases and she... Oh, man, those are pretty intense. There was a claim that it was for a video game promotion, but that never materialized. Like, no game ever materialized where that person was. But it was like somebody was trying to just say, oh, no, it's nothing. And like a disinformation thing. Unless something did come out and I missed it somehow. But basically it was this hooded... You can tell it's a woman. And so it starts... The first one that I ever saw was this guy's riding a bike, and there's like a traffic camera or some kind of camera watching the intersection, and there's things going on, but it's late and you can tell there aren't many people, but this guy is riding a bike with the kind of thing on his back, like he's got a little store thing on the back.
Okay.
And he's wheeling it along, and he enters the intersection. All of a sudden this truck comes out of nowhere towards him, and you see this
I didn't know it was a
person.
Woman. Yeah, I just actually saw that one again the other day.
Yeah, and blink and suddenly touches him and flash a light, and suddenly they're over on the side of the road, and the truck guy gets out looking like he just hit someone and can't figure out what the hell's going on. And there's a couple other videos that seem to follow that same thing. Now, chances are it is a promotion for something or some idea or some film idea somebody was putting together. But it was very interesting.
Film student somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well easily be that, and most probably is. But it was just this weird videos that showed up, and the comments people had were pretty neat. But it's like, I don't know, it was like people really believed that something amazing was going on. I think, honest to God, I think we really need something like that to be going on. We need to have those people be able to come in and do these things, and I love those kind of stories.
You know what we need? We need Tina Turner. To put out another song, like, because she did that song for the Mad Max movies. The Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome?
And she had one, it was something about, I don't remember if it was We Need a Hero or something like that, but I can't.
Yeah, I don't know if Tina Turner's going to cut it, but that's an interesting idea.
I mean, right now,
well, we need a good theme song for sure.
We're on the edge of Mad Max dumb anyhow. So,
it seems like it. We're teetering.
Yeah, exactly. Toe Cutter and Morton Joe's coming up soon,
Oh, yeah.
Who, by the way, the same person played him in both movies.
Oh, is that right? Okay, got it.
Yeah, Toe Cutter in the first one was Morton Joe in the last one.
Oh.
So, anyhow.
Very cool. Well, we need those kind of people popping in and helping us out here because we got a lot of messes going on.
Oh, yeah.
Number 16, the woman disappeared after declaring her love.
Oh,
that's sweet. It's from some unknown Redditor. There's no name given, but it says, I was pretty down because of a girl and went for a kebab.
Nice.
While I was standing in a queue for a kebab in the pub right next to it, there was a woman that caught my attention. I for sure had never seen her before, despite living in this small town my entire life and going around this pub every day. Another thing I noticed was that she didn't order anything. She just sat there by the table alone. Then I ordered my food, and while waiting for it, the woman leaned over the fence that separates the kebab place from the pub, looked directly at me, and offered me an ice cream. Well, I accepted the offer, and immediately after that, she looked me in the eyes, smiled a bit, and clearly and calmly said, I love you.
Wow.
I received my kebab, then turned around to where she was, and she was gone. Vanished as quickly as she appeared. I inspected the ice cream, and it seemed okay. It was delicious. Wow.
Meanwhile, he's got a meat stick in his hand. Wow.
Maybe she was a vegan. She's like, oh, never mind. I don't love you.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah, if there was kebab stores in we don't exactly have kebab stores here.
No, we could use one. That sounds good.
It does, yeah.
Number 17, they may have met a time traveler at the deli counter. From Redditor 40 Ounce Freed.
Too many 40 ounces.
Yeah, just one or two. I used to work at a service deli, and this guy walked in one day looking around at everything. He asked me a few questions about how we get our meat. It comes up all the time. Common discussion points.
We buy it at a store. Because we don't believe in...
It's the meat fairies.
Uh-huh.
How it gets shaped that way and what kind of currency is accepted and how the interaction of a purchase is made. Then he just kind of smiled and said, so sorry if I come off as strange. I'm from the future, so this is all overwhelming to me.
All right.
Then he spent time at the whole meats department, a little distance away from the deli counter, and asked my coworker their similar questions. He also asked him if people purchasing meat of creatures is a significant part of our infrastructure. My coworkers and I talked about it all day. Realistically, he could have just been a goofy guy, maybe a controlled substance, or maybe he has a mental illness related to the perception of reality. He seemed like a regular guy, and he was wearing office attire that looked expensive, like maybe silk, and spoke clear, fluent English. Never encountered or had a conversation with anyone like that before. Yeah, that's not what you'd be looking for, for sure, in your conversations. But I think if anybody ever asks you questions like that, you can safely assume they ain't from around here.
You ain't from around here, are you, boy?
You ain't from around here, is you? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's weird. That's that kind of weird. That was that article. I like that article a lot.
It was a good one, yeah.
It really was. There's some great stories in there. But I don't know what you make of it, folks. Again, there's no authenticating these. They're just conglomerated from Reddit posts and stuff. But I find them very interesting because what if just a small percentage of those is accurate? Right. What if that's real? Then what? You know, even if 99% of them are fake, if 1% of the stories that I've shared on the show are real, just 1% of the thousands of stories, that's still amazing. That's still incredible. That means there's crazy stuff going on in this world. So, and having witnessed several crazy stuffs myself.
Rachel says, met a time traveler at the deli. You can call me Ruben. Oh, gosh.
We haven't given a rim shot all night, Don.
Yeah.
Bum.
And Rachel gets the first one.
She gets the first one. She's always right, though. That's why. But that's what we do. We're down to about 30 seconds before the break,
30
folks.
seconds before the break.
The hour break is right upon us, I'm telling you.
Joking me.
This stuff just cruises up. I'm going to save this one because I want to see if there's other links to it on there that might have similar stories. I like those a lot.
Well, it does say next list on the bottom.
It does, but they're not
Who
even.
knows what list
yeah,
it is,
it's just a random grab from their archives.
15 recipes.
Yeah, which would fit in perfect here. Would fit in perfectly on the Paranormal Portal. Absolutely. But there you have it. Paisley will be doing a show tonight, right?
Oh, it is Friday, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to break here, folks. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Don't go away.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
extraordinarily sad.
I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. Caroline is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force, it is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
There you have it, folks. We're into hour number 2. And these are my big feet. My big feet. Put them up to the camera so you guys can see them if they focus in. Aren't they cool? That's right. I'm outside faking tracks. These are my little feet tracks. They are cute, though, aren't they? Look at the bottoms. Isn't that cute? Little big feet, folks. That's the kind of fun that we bring every week on this show. And if you enjoy this show, you could do us all a great favor, a great, huge favor by linking these episodes out to your social media. So, yeah, I was doing the can. You saw that, Lucifer?
Because you can.
I did, because I can. Now you're unmuted. Sorry about that.
Now you can.
Yeah, but you can't.
But you can't.
So I was dancing with the big feet.
Which big feet, huh?
The big feet, the finger big feet.
I
Yeah,
didn't know you had finger big feet.
yeah. Yep. You want to see them done?
Sure.
It's my finger big feet.
Oh, they actually are. They're kind of furry and everything. Yeah.
Well, it's not really fur. It's plasticky, but
Yeah, but they can't see me.
oh, they can't. You want them to see you play with the big feet?
See?
Yeah.
All right, you can have your big feet back.
Thanks, man. Those are the big feet, folks.
Thanks for allowing me to
No,
fall to your feet.
I'm happy you're using my feet. I found these at a little toy store here. It's not like anything. It's a little small town shop, but it's in a covered bridge. It used to be a bridge.
It's in the Cedar Street Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? Creations? Is that
Creations,
what it is?
yeah.
Creations is the name of the store.
Yeah, that's where I got my Bigfoot whistle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is where I found the big feet. I was
Yeah.
just going through there. I'm like, oh my God, those have got to be on my desk. So they're here, right at the base of my monitor. So there you go. Not that that's part of the show, but I just want you to show that Bigfoot is permeating my entire life.
Oh my.
So anyway, we're going through the paranormal, of course. Remember, if you're watching on TFR, iHeart, tune in to TalkStream Live. After the show, stick around for Paisley Wild coming up next. She'll be doing the Spaces Between, and you can find her doing her live cast of it on her YouTube,
Right.
youtube.com/the Spaces Between.
Yep.
But that'll be coming up later. But for now, you still get us for an hour. I wonder why I'm getting that fuzz. You hearing that?
No, actually, I don't have my headphones. Oh.
Oh, yeah, look what happens. There it goes.
Yeah, I've just got a little bit, not bad.
No, I mean, it hasn't happened yet. There, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the TFR line. And those of you on TFR, are you getting static? Are you hearing static? If you can let me know. Bam. Because I can reconnect that
We're
line.
about to get launched off again by somebody with an alphabet soup name.
Oh, yeah. Because we're so threatening to the national
I've been
security.
telling them to stop talking about aliens.
I know.
They
but
just don't get the hint.
we can't. It's part of our. It's part of our
Can't do
job.
it.
It's our job to bring you guys all the weirdness and paranormal that we can pack into an episode. And so next up, Live Energy Greetings, Brent. Thank you, Dawns to you too. Good to see you as well. Dawns to you too is in the TFR chat. Speaking of which, Sophia the Bot is in there. Lucky One is in there. And Bam 420's in there. Psycho Dave 321's in there. And Freeman 8. Okay, so Dawns to you too was in there, but she's not now. I don't know. Bam was talking about the 100-year-old. How is there an obese 100-year-old? I don't know. But whatever they're doing it right. But who's here on YouTube's?
Well, it's a short list. Yeah, it's a really short list.
Yeah, it all depends on who's talking. So.
I'm not even on there, but I don't talk a whole lot in there. But it says Android Purity. Brooks is here. Cold Stairs. How you doing? GG. Lisa Rue. Lucifer. Maggie M10. Rachel's there, of course. Richard Elmore. Saltamontes, which is shrimp in,
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh.
Camarones. It's grasshopper. Grasshopper in Spanish. A.K.A. Julia. Hi, Julia. I'll be to work tomorrow. Tracy, Gail, and Zinwin, Arizona.
And Gigi says I'm here.
Daisy.
Here I am.
Gigi. Yeah. Gigi.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. We're going to get back into more of these paranormal fun that we love. And hopefully you're loving it too. The next article is one we've been working through as well. I'm just curious if they're getting static on TFR because I can reconnect that line. And maybe I should.
I don't know.
Maybe I should because I don't want it to be all fuzzy in the archives over there if it is. But love me some Portal. We love you too, Tracy Gale. Thank you very much. Let me disconnect this and reconnect the studio. 1 second, folks. All right.
Please hold.
Please hold. Okay, I'm going to reconnect it now.
Hi, Karen.
All right. There we go. And add. So hopefully we're taking care of that fuzz that was coming in because sometimes that's some connection issue from the bumper running at the beginning of the hour at the end of the before the break. Beginning or end of the breaks, sometimes they give us a staticky residue for some reason. I don't know how else to say that, but it sounds kind of stupid. But that's all I got, folks.
Kind of like Klingons.
Clinging on to what? All right, let's get to this. This is another list we've been working through, and this is Encounters with Vanishing Places, and I thought this was really interesting as well.
Those are cool too, yeah.
This article is coming from Ranker.com as well, so we've had 2 great articles from Ranker.com. We've been working through, and we're going to continue to work through it right now. So the first one that we're going to read tonight is The Ghost Restaurant with a Fancy Bathroom, and this is by Redditor Letter to a Thief. I'm a financial auditor for a small firm in central Texas, and we have a lot of clients along the U.S.-Mexico border towns. Anyway, first out-of-town job, and I was in Laredo, a very industrial border town. Our client offices were in an industrial park that is mainly warehouses and such.
I'm having visions of Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Actually, call Saul, but okay, sorry.
Well, we found out on Thursday that the company was taking Friday off. All office staff would be gone. It's a very small business for a wedding, and one of the owners and the administrator who was supposed to tell us was out on medical leave. If they weren't there, we couldn't really do anything because we didn't have access to files, so we decided to stay at the hotel and leave the next morning. We'd been working long days, so my 2 coworkers and I decided to leave at 11 to sleep in. After a stressful week of being in the middle of nowhere for so long, I walked from our hotel to this little sports bar nearby. I got to feeling really good and decided to get some food and go to sleep. I called an Uber/Lyft, and the guy had to go around the highway to take a U-turn to get to the frontage road where the hotel was. He was coming up on the road and that led to the industrial park. Just a little way down the road, I saw a little Mexican place with an open sign, so I pointed and asked him to stop because I was very hungry. Well, he dropped me off. I tipped him on the app and went inside. It was one dude behind the counter and a few small tables, a real hole-in-the-wall place. I got enchiladas verdes, paid and asked to use the restroom, and the man behind the counter just pointed and smiled, which wasn't weird because that's what most people did when I spoke my English out there. I'll always remember this bathroom because it was like walking into a different building. Granite countertop, one of those flat neck sinks, a spotless toilet, and it smelled like it had just been cleaned with Fabuloso. It stood out like a sore thumb in a good way. I ordered a lift and was waiting outside for like 20 minutes, and this dude was coming from far away, and right as the car was approaching me, I saw all the lights shut off at once, and I heard the door lock. I woke up in the morning, we got on the road, and were coming out up on the same road where I saw the restaurant, except nothing. There was an empty concrete pad that was bigger than I remember the restaurant being, and nothing else. In the grass right next to the concrete pad was a toilet. It looked pretty new to me, but I was about 50 feet out and going 50 miles per hour, so who knows? I like to think it belonged to the ghost restaurant with the fancy bathroom.
So last night she went to the bathroom in a restaurant that actually wasn't there, but there is a toilet there. You know what that tells me? She's pooping in public.
Ooh. Yep, it was all an illusion, huh?
Yeah.
Oof.
Except the toilet, thank God.
Yeah.
At least she got to sit in comfort. What'd she wipe with?
I don't know if it's a she or a he, to be honest with you.
Okay, they.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a good question. I hope it at least had ghost paper. It's so angel soft. I don't understand.
Why does my hand stink the wrong way?
Stink the wrong way? Is there a right way?
Always use Uber, not Lyft. Okay, sure.
Flat ground near perfect circle felt really weird. This is by Redditor Miss Alpha 97. When I was a kid, I went exploring in these pine woods behind my house. We live on a farm, so there's paddocks in front of our house and pine woods behind us. I wandered off for a little bit, realizing I was lost. I started to get worried as I just couldn't get my bearings. I explored these woods all the time and knew them well, and I hadn't been walking long, so I knew I wasn't too far in. Yet I was surrounded by trees that weren't even pine, which is impossible because it's a pine forest. Never once had I ever seen a tree that wasn't pine in that forest, or the surrounding forest. It started to get dark, and I started crying and just ran, fumbling through the way that I had come, hoping to find my way back. I then stumbled upon this clearing, flat ground, near perfect circle. It felt really weird. There were these bushes at the edge of the clearing, so I climbed through them, and once I got out, I realized I was standing behind the chicken coop right near my house. Ran home and got yelled at by my mom for being so late. Next day, went to check behind the chicken coop. No bushes, no clearing, just pine trees. That place just disappeared. Even though my teen years, I still wandered off hoping to find that place just to prove I wasn't insane. But I never did. Wow, Don, huh?
I wish I had one of these problems. So I was walking down the street the other day. It was just this desolate street out by my place, and I found this really great chicken shack. They fried it just perfectly, and just it was awesome. And then the next day it was just gone.
I think that'd be a really cool experience, right? Because that whole memory then becomes absolutely really special because you experience something that doesn't exist in this plane of reality.
That's right.
Which I would think would imply that you weren't on this plane of reality.
Well,
somehow you went through a doorway or a portal of some kind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be. I would really like that. I think it'd be really cool.
As long as you make it back, okay. That's awesome. If it goes sideways and you go to hell or something, then it's wrong.
Well, the only way it could really go sideways is if I wake up with food poisoning. What were you eating? I don't know. It was a field right up the way. There's a lot of cows in there. Oh, that's why you saw a fancy little restaurant, huh?
They kept serving beef donuts. I don't understand.
Oh boy. I was going more for the mushrooms that grow around cow patties, but whatever.
Flying saucers, meat donuts. Never mind. Anyway, come on. All right, we looked it up on Google Maps, but Google couldn't find it. This is coming from Peachy Riley. My ex-girlfriend and I decided to have a sleepover. We're both girls, so this was loud. Okay. She came over, and we decided that around 9 at night, we would go on a walk. And my stepmother agreed, as long as we took our phones and flashlight. People referred to where I used to live as a hidden utopia because it was so obscured by the woods. We headed out, went on a lonely path, and cut straight through the woods. like with nothing around but a stream in a tiny park. We laughed and joked, and we played some calm music from our phones. It was a cute little date. She stopped me suddenly and pointed up this large hill. She said she saw some cool-looking house, so we decided to crawl up the side of the hill. It was difficult since it was slippery, but we managed. There was an old pottery scattered around the yard and ripped up tires. We were standing behind an old house. It was falling apart, and the clock tower area of the house had been burned down. She gave me her hairpins, and I went around the house trying to unlock the doors, but all the locks were filled in with cement, and the windows were either covered in spiky vines or covered up with boards. We found one loose board, so I kicked through it. We slipped past the board and entered the house. The floor was mushy, and it smelled musty. With every step I took, the floor would make a squishing sound and dip under my weight. You could barely see the floor because it was covered in so much stuff. We headed toward the kitchen and looked through some of the books that had been stacked up in the kitchen. It seemed like whoever lived here had been evicted. She called me, and I rushed over at her panic-filled voice, and we saw a skull on the ground, and then heard a door creaking open somewhere in the house. Oh, we booked it. We revisited it twice that week to look around it and figure out its mysteries, and we looked it up on Google Maps, but Google couldn't find it. The third time we went there that week, it wasn't there. We crawled up the hill, but nothing was there. Everything had disappeared, including the large tree next to the house that was practically part of the house. We never could find the house again. It had just disappeared, and the hill was just a field of grass and flowers. I have pictures of the house on my phone, but it doesn't even exist.
Well, how can you have pictures of it? How can it manifest like that in a picture and you still have it?
Because they went through a portal, Don.
Well, and what the hell kind of house has a clock tower?
I don't know. Pretty cool house. Sounds like, except that it was burned down. And the squishy, wet, pliable floor is kind of weird.
You know, that seems to me, that's like walking in a mushroom now, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Settle down, Alice.
Or walking in something digesting you slowly.
Oh, good point.
Yeesh. Yeah, what if it was a tummy?
It was a big fiendish fly trap.
It was a big fly trap house.
Oh, what movie was that? I'll have to remember some other time.
Well, until then, I got another story, and it's in the basement.
Sweetly.
And this is by The Umbrella Goddess. I was studying abroad in Italy my freshman year of college, and a group of friends and I were trying to find this bus station in Rome. We went to Google Maps to where Google Maps led us, and the building looked like it was an office building of some sort, so we're thinking, okay, maybe it's in the basement. So we go into this building and get into the elevator, and there's no button for the basement, so we're like, okay, maybe if we go to the top floor, we'll be able to have the vantage point to see the bus station from where we are. So we go to the top floor and walk out, and we're greeted by this woman who's standing behind the counter of what appears to be a Chinese restaurant. So we go in, and there's a couple of kids playing on the floor near her. We look around, and the windows are totally blacked out. This woman looks at us in a super thick Russian accent, says in English, "What are you doing here?"
It's a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
So speaking in Russian accents.
So by this time, the two of us are sufficiently freaked out, but the fearless one in our group goes, "We're trying to find the bus station. Do you know where it is?" And the woman answers, "It's in the basement." And my friend says, "Well, there's no button for the basement in the elevator." And the woman says, "No, you have to take the stairs." So we thank her and leave super fast, go down the stairs pretty quickly, find the station, and get on our bus. And for whatever reason, just as we're pulling away, all of us decide to look out the rear window of the bus and see if we can spot the building. But it's not there, just a regular old bus station. To this day, we all maintain that we were in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, it sounds like it, huh?
Yeah.
Woo!
So the bus station was in the basement?
It was in the building that doesn't exist. And then when they were looking at through the rearview mirror, as they're leaving, it's just a bus station. Yep. Weird stuff. And again, I don't know if these are real or not, but they're not presented as fiction. So we have to assume there's at least a possibility. there's also a possibility that this is all a bunch of bunk.
Well,
But
yeah, there's no guarantee it's
Right.
it's truthful either. So.
right, and that's the thing. I wish I could verify these were real or not real. Because if they're not real, and I knew that, I would not read them. But as they're
But that would take away so much fun.
it would. These are fun stories. But the thing is that this is all a journey for me. Like I'm trying to get breadcrumbs as I go through these phenomena.
Yeah, but we have to filter through this stuff. That's why these are the breadcrumbs. Sometimes the breadcrumbs are soft and mushy, like the floor in
Like
that
the floor
house.
of that house, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not like the Florida house, the floor in the house.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, and then some are just, solid and you can walk right through it, So, you got to just be discerning. Somebody said something. So Maggie M10 says, so I was walking in the dark the other day in my portal hoodie and someone stopped their something after passing me, stuck his head out of the driver's window and yelled, "Eggnog." So weird.
Eggnog?
Eggnog.
What is that? What is that?
I don't know, but she was wearing a portal hoodie. That's all
Way
that matters.
way to represent.
That's right.
Woo! Give it an applause. Thank you for that.
Oh, it's supposed to be Uber. Gotcha.
Supposed to be what?
I think it's supposed to be Uber. Someone stopped their Uber and said,
Said
yelled
eggnog.
Yeah,
Eggnog.
Eggman. Sorry, that's a song by the Beasties. Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. But thank you for buying the hoodie and wearing it. That's awesome.
Hedgehog
It's all about letting people know about the portal. So, we started hearing waves.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. She said, I just caught this. She said, I wonder if there was something I didn't know about eggnog. Maybe it's just weird. Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
No.
Other than, it's a pleasant holiday drink, but I don't know of any inside joke.
Bad for you. Ugh.
Oh, what isn't bad for you anymore?
Eggnog. No,
Eggnog.
let me take that back. Water. That's almost as bad, though.
So here's a story from Dimitri Homi. I once went on holiday back to where my parents were born in India. We have a family home that is outside of a moderately sized town. It's very isolated. To get to our home, you have to drive out of town and then 10 minutes down a narrow road with steep drop-offs to each side that contained rice fields full of water.
What?
Yikes. My cousin and I were both around 13 years old and would spend the days bored out of our minds, causing trouble. We didn't have any other kids to play with as the home was so isolated, so we couldn't walk into town as it was just too far away. Sometimes my parents or uncle would take us into town and buy us toys. Well, one day we were messing about and my uncle suggested we explore the local forest, which literally surrounded our house, and I think we were annoying him. We decided to walk in a straight line as we thought this would be the easiest way not to get lost. It wasn't something we were worried about as the forest wasn't that dense and we could see the house as we began walking in. Two things about India: it's blindingly hot and unbelievably humid. After an hour or so of exploring, we were tired and decided to head back. We just turned around and walked straight back the way we came. An hour later, we were not at the house, and at this point, we're deliriously thirsty and hungry. We were spoiled kids and not used to this level of physical labor.
Oh, my goodness.
Another hour passed, and we still don't arrive home, but we start hearing waves like we were near a beach. My cousin was perplexed as there's no sea or river or lake near us. I just thought we must have gone really far, but was excited in my own way. That beach must mean that there will be other people there. We eventually reached a clearing, and we were both open-mouthed at the beauty of the scene before us. There was a huge waterfall. If anyone has ever been to Plitvice in Croatia, it was very similar in size. It was incredible. I didn't want to blink in case I missed a second of it. We were on the bank, and the waterfall was above us and to the side. Next to us were mangoes falling off the trees, some green, others orange. The water looked so clear and so cool, I can't describe it very well, but I'm quite well traveled. I've been to over 20 countries, and I've never seen something so perfect. We immediately ran to the river and drank something we knew definitely never to do in India. This water, however, looked so clean and tasted fine. My cousin sliced up some mangoes, and we sat on the banks talking and chilling, content with being lost for a while. As time dragged on, we again realized we needed to find home. My cousin suggested I climb a tall tree next to us, and so I did. From the top, I could see a faint clearing that I assumed was our house. We walked all the way back and reached home about half an hour later. My uncle had been going bonkers with worry, thinking that we had gotten lost, and he was so happy we were back before my parents got home and rushed me to go shower. When I came out, we excitedly told my uncle about our discovery of the waterfall and the mangoes. My uncle laughed and said there are no waterfalls or rivers in this area, and mangoes don't grow in this area. We assumed he was just ignorant and told our housekeeper about it. He also confirmed that there were no streams, rivers, waterfalls in the area. When I got home, I immediately checked Google Maps and couldn't find any body of water from the satellite view. I Googled the area name and waterfall, nothing. I even called my cousin and asked him to recall what happened that date without me saying anything, and he confirmed everything. I've been back once since then and haven't found the place despite doing everything in my power, including hiring other local people to check. It was such an incredible, beautiful location that I'm sure if it was found, it would become a tourist area or a national park. Hopefully, one day, someone will find it. I don't think it's just sitting out there waiting to be found.
No. Well, and that's like this one, the house, the one you just read about the house. And the umpteen others that we've read, things like this, and what was it, remember the graveyard they were checking out at night, and it kept receding and receding.
Oh, yeah.
And there was something on the other side of that, too. But,
Yep. There you go, folks. We're going to go to the last break of the night. We'll be right back with more of the Paranormal Portal. Welcome back, everybody. This is the last half hour of the Paranormal Portal. If you can believe it, it's already gone. 1 hour and a half. It's now done.
Oh, no.
That's all that's left is 1 hour and a half.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Well, that's okay, folks, because we've had an excellent journey here with you anyway. But we are going through these disappearing places. I think we're almost to the end of it, so I'd like to read this through, if you don't mind, Don.
No, go for it,
All right. These are cool stories because these are experiences people are having with coming to places, having some kind of interaction with these places, and then they disappear. For whatever reason, whatever the definition is, are these portals to another reality? Is this part of the multiverse peeking through? Is there something more intervention-y for about these? Like for these kids that were lost in the last one, they were really thirsty, really hungry, and desperately lost, and suddenly whatever they needed manifest. Now, the person eating at the Mexican restaurant was very hungry. On the way back, saw this restaurant and got some great food and used a bathroom that looked palatial. Went back to the hotel, left the morning after, and the place wasn't there anymore. And
all that was left was the throne.
some bathroom was sitting out there, apparently all by itself, which is really wild. Some leftover from the multiverse, maybe. Sounds like a hell of a bathroom, though.
You said it was palatial.
It was palatial. Every palace should have a throne. Thank you. All night I'm here. All night, folks. So happy Black Friday to you all as well. Glad you're not out getting mauled with other shoppers. If that madness is going on this year, I don't know. I haven't seen any of the usual videos and stuff of people acting the fool, but I'm sure it's happening somewhere. But I think you spent your time more wisely right here with us. So
yeah, a lot safer.
Let's get back to the article.
Your pocketbook appreciates it more too.
Absolutely.
I know all you guys are actually just waiting for Cyber Monday, though. So
Cyber Monday, that's what we're waiting for. All right, let's get back to the list, and this is from Ranker.com. This is a list, Encounters with Vanishing Places. So this is the next one. When I looked into my rearview mirror, there was no gas station. It says this is from Skeleton Skellers on Reddit. Skeleton Skellers, Don. Mm-hmm. I love the Reddit names. I think they're hilarious.
Spelled with 2 L's as well.
Yeah, both. Yeah, whatever that's for. When I went on a road trip to see my family in Texas, I stopped at a gas station to fill up and get some coffee, as it was about 2 a.m. I went inside, and there was a man at the counter smiling as normal. They didn't sell coffee, surprisingly, so I settled with an energy drink. I exited the store, got into my car, and drove off as you normally would. Yes, that's how you normally do it.
Well, we drove backwards.
Yeah, screw it. I did circles. As soon as I left the parking lot of the dimly lit gas station, my gas tank was back on low. My energy drink was gone, as if it vanished out of the cup holder. And when I looked into my rearview mirror, there was no gas station. I turned around, and all there was Texas land. I still have no clue what happened that day.
Well, that's called delirium.
Now, I wonder if he actually paid for it. Did his cash disappear then too? It's like the multiverse con man.
Well, it was 2:00 in the morning, so
yeah.
They probably it was probably a dream.
Could be.
Wake up. Hey, no drowsy driving, buddy.
Yeah, he had passed out on the side of the road.
Trust me, I've done enough of that. Gosh.
No, I think this person got the bad end of the deal, because oftentimes these experiences are like, hey, this spirit had a great meal, got all refreshed and energized and hit the road, and
this guy got
and then the place is gone. This guy, they just didn't like this guy at all.
It was just
who's this Skellers clown?
Skellington.
I don't know what happened to Skellers, whatever the hell it is. But that's the raw end of the deal on those. Here's another one. My friend and I came across an abandoned neighborhood development. This is from The Forlorn Knight.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, well, When I was in middle school in the late 90s, I got really into model rockets.
Oh, that's why you're a forlorn knight.
Living in the city, there weren't too many places you can shoot them off except and expect to get them back. So my friend and I scoped out a few spots on our bikes and came across an abandoned neighborhood development. The roads were poured and everything, but they gave up actually building any houses, so there's lots of open space. So we went back to my house, keeping track of landmarks to find it again. Old mobile service station, dollar store, Texas Hammer, billboard. Well, so we got my rocket stuff and a skateboard because we were going to be stupid. and had my stepdad drive us back, and we found it easily, like 10 minutes or so away. We set off some rockets, strapped some engines to that skateboard to see if it would rocket off. It didn't, and had a great time. It got late, and I was out of engines, so we headed back. A week later, I got more engines and a new rocket, so we decided to go back. We rode our bikes down around for 2 hours and never found it. We backtracked over and over and found nothing. No turn-off road, no suddenly erect fence, nothing. So we went to my house and had my stepdad drive us again, and he couldn't find it. I looked every so often just to see if maybe I could find it again for years until we moved away. But I never did. That's it. Place disappeared, Don.
Brigadoon.
Brigadoon?
Brigadoon.
I know that name is from like a movie or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's Sean Connery actually was in it, and it's a musical.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like My Fair Lady and things like that.
Uh-huh.
And it was about this town that it pops up like every 100 years.
Wow.
And it just disappears within like a day.
Oh.
And so, that's what that reminded me of. Sorry.
That's interesting, though, because that there are legends like that peppered, across the globe of these weird places
sorry.
are there and they're not.
Yeah, so Sleeping Beauty is the same way, though.
Is it?
It started off as people couldn't find it, but the prince found it, depending on which books you read. Don't read the A.R. Leclerc books.
Okay.
They're not, they don't stick to the story.
Oh.
So, yes, Don does like musicals, Gigi, thanks. South
Absolutely.
Pacific was absolutely hilarious. But it's about, kind of like Sleeping Beauty, everybody fell asleep for 100 years. And nobody could find this. And then one day the prince finally found it, him and his hunting party. And so, it just kind of popped up 100 years later.
Wow.
That's kind of the implication. So there you have it.
That's kind of cool. That's really interesting. I've heard these stories through the years of different places popping up. One guy was lost at sea and ended up going to this island.
Right.
And living on this island and, in fact, falling in love, having somewhat of a relationship with this woman. And, her whole family lived there. And then he was told that if he left, he'd never be able to come back.
Girl Friday.
Yeah, he was never able to come back, he was told, if he left.
Right.
But one day he decided he needed to get back after about 2 years of being gone. And he left and rowed out on a boat and he hit a spot, and all of a sudden he looked back and the island was gone. And he never could find it again. So, I don't know. It's almost tragic. Mm-hmm. Like, if you find a place like that and you're happy, stay.
Yeah.
Because chances are...
I got nothing back there.
Even though people may run around with a lot of questions in their head about what happened to you,
right?
At least you're happy.
And one of the stories just before, now I've totally forgotten what the hell I was going to say.
Okay.
Nice.
I guess that's the universe telling us to move along.
Welcome to the portal.
Yep. All right. Let's go to the next one. If it comes back to you, just by all means, feel free to let us know. But it says, I came to an enormous clearing that I had never seen before. This is by Redditor Noodle Tune. It happened when I was in high school, circa 1999, back before I had a cell phone, and certainly before I had a smartphone. I wish I could have taken a picture, but part of me feels like maybe I somehow wouldn't have been allowed to have this experience if I had had a camera with me.
Maybe.
I was walking my dog in some woods near my house. I was pretty familiar with them, as my dog and I went there often. One day I came to an enormous clearing that I had never seen before, like a giant field smack in the middle of the woods, and it was entirely blanketed with yellow daffodils. Thousands and thousands of them. My dog loved it and romped and frolicked in the daffodils as I took in the beauty and felt completely awed, like I was witnessing something magical. No one else was around, and it felt really special, like the experience was just for me. I went back the next day. I searched and searched, but could not find that clearing, nor a single daffodil. And that's the last one on this article. Now, I've had an experience kind of like this. This is one I don't talk about much, but it's just one of those I don't know what happened for sure. And what it was, this is my experience, and it's by no means as amazing as many of these, but it really did happen. So I was hiking one time with Sheldon and Oliver, and they were both kind of young, not really young. Sheldon, I think, was like 12-ish, and Oliver would have been, I don't know, around 8 or 7. And we were hiking up this hill, and it was just behind our house. But we were hiking along, and it was, as I recall, it was early spring. The snow was melted, but it was still really chilly. And so we decided to just hike up the bluff and just look around. And I think the initial reason, the initial reason we went up there is I told my kids about this place that I had found when I was a kid.
Ah.
And I used to go up there all the time, and it was just this little pocket in this forest that it was full of limestone boulders, but they were so covered in moss that it was like laying on a blanket. And the sun would come down from the gap in the trees, and it was just this really, to me, it was a very magical place. And I tried to explain it to them, and I told them the story of, and then they logged the area, and I never could find it again. It was just wherever it was just gone because, and you knock down trees and it changes the entire ecosystem. So
Right.
they logged it out, and I lost that place. And I was telling them about it, so we decided to just go try to hike up and see if we could find where that place was. Well, we went up and we climbed. We got to a place where I think it would have been just based on the elevation and everything, but couldn't find it. But I said, well, maybe we can go higher. And so we went higher. And then we decided to go a little higher. And so we're right about at the cliff face. There's about a 50-foot cliff, and then it's the top of the hill. But in that spot, all three of us just kind of turned and looked at each other. Like all three of us experienced something really odd because the cold chill just seemed to melt away.
Right.
Suddenly we were all comfortable, and we all had a feeling like we were feeling like a vibration is the best I can recall. But all three of us. And so I had my little flip phone. It was a Motorola flip phone. And I started taking photos. And I guess I was just taking shots. I wasn't paying much attention to them, but I just took pictures. And what I found that when I look back at the pictures while we were there, everywhere where I took a picture was a rainbow ribbon of light going through every one of the pictures. Like
Wow.
whatever was going on there was I think pretty spectacular. And so I was showing the boys, and they were like, wow. So I took about 20 some pictures, and each one of them had some light anomaly or these rainbow bands of light snaking through the scene. It was just incredible. And I was like, okay, so we came down, and I think maybe another 2 weekends, and we decided to go back up there again. Couldn't find that place, couldn't find it. And we tried periodically, but we never found it again. However, I kept that phone because I was like, I need to keep these pictures. But then the phone got destroyed.
Right.
And I lost them. But they were the most amazing pictures. And the rainbow lights weren't just a weird anomaly. They were snaking in a 3-dimensional, wound away from me and around the boys and stuff. It was just really incredible. I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but it really felt like we touched on something incredible in that moment. And it was really neat to have seen it and have been there, but it was just gone to time after that. So, I don't know.
I remembered what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the one about they found the waterfall and the mangoes
Yes.
and drank the water.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know you're not supposed to do those things when you come across things like this? You
Don't
don't
eat.
eat the food. You don't drink the water.
That's true.
You don't do it because if it's fairy or glamour,
Yeah, it'll anchor you.
yeah, you're screwed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. That's very true.
Yeah. Don't eat the mushrooms either.
Yeah, and
No matter how much you want to.
there's an ancient Druidic rite of creating a gateway, and essentially, you create it has to be done in the fog. You have to do it in the fog because the ancient Druids, the fog was mystical. It was very magical, and so you take a candle, and I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but essentially, you want a gateway to appear, and if it appears, you can go in there, but there's a couple of rules. You can't touch anything if you go through this gateway, not a thing. If you do, you'll be trapped there forever, and you can't take anything from those places because you won't get back. And the other part is you have to make sure you come back through that gateway before the fog dissipates, because if it does,
You're stuck.
you're stuck. So I thought that was very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's something to this stuff, folks. But that was another one of those lists. I guess there's more to check out on this one, but I'm going to move on to some Phantom and Monsters article from phantomsandmonsters.com. Our friend Lon Strickler is the owner and proprietor of this site. It's a great site. Definitely check it out. Support it. What?
Gigi says, "Oh, I'd be trapped. I can't help but touch everything." No
She's
surprise there.
She's very tactile. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, that would be tough. I gotta admit, I'd be like, ooh, that shiny thing. I
Now,
must take it.
You said tactile, not tactful, right?
I said tactile. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
But the article I wanted to get into is some cryptid stuff. It's large black cryptid canine encountered in Delamere Forest in Cheshire, UK. And this article is, when was this from? November 20th, so it's really new, folks.
Just a couple days ago.
Yep, just a couple days ago. So let's get into this and see what's going on. Again, special thanks to Lon Strickler for letting us highlight these articles from his site. I recently came across the following. In autumn 2014, a group of 4 friends and I were out late one Friday night in Delaware Forest in Cheshire, UK. We were walking along the designated trail that takes you just past the Go Ape Center. It was a wild, windy evening, and the rain was coming down pretty heavily as we stopped off a small fork in the path. As we all huddled together back to back under a large golfing brolly, avoiding drips, we all suddenly became aware of a presence looking at us from somewhere nearby, which spooked the whole group. I started scanning the surrounding area, which was pitch black, and for some reason I had the urge to look back in the direction towards the crossroads of the path that we had just come from. To my horror, I could see 2 eyes looking back at me. They were about waist height, and whatever the thing they were belonged to was not even 10 feet away from us, in a thin bushy hedgerow. Suddenly it began moving to the right, almost instantly, across the path we had just walked from, and the way we would have to walk back out to the car. To the best of my ability, all I can say is I saw an extremely large, black wolf-like creature that was moving on all 4s. As it moved, it didn't turn its head. It didn't turn its head or lose eye contact with me the whole time as it crossed the path. The black wolf was glaring at me with a vacant expression in its eyes before disappearing into the denser shrub along the path beyond. I was absolutely freaked out by this point, as my nerve had gone. The walk back to the car became rather quick and nervous journey, and we had to head back past the Go Ape Center. And as we did, the feeling of being watched returned. This time everyone felt it strongly. I may have been 25 years old and 6 foot, 180 pounds, but I'm not ashamed to say I ran like a little girl in the last 100 yards to the car. Oh man, that would be suck. That would be a sucky experience. But I'm glad they made it out to be able to tell the tale. To be able to tell the tale. Wow. I want to go to another one here. This is a brand new one that he posted today, and I want to read it. It's got 7 minutes left. Should be able to. Oh God, maybe not. Maybe I'll save this one for tomorrow night because that's a great one, insect creature, and this one is pretty long too. So, let's see. That's going to be about the whole journey, isn't it? I don't know, Don. You know what? We'll close with some Black Eyed Kids stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the stuff you love. We've used this article from Thought Catalog on the day that we did the Black Eyed Kids show, but I didn't read all the way through it. However, we can do so now with the 7 minutes that remain before the end of the show. Because Don loves these, guys. Don loves some Black Eyed Kids stuff.
This Dogmen and Rakes.
This Dogmen and Rakes.
These are like my top 3.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense 3. It says, every story I've ever read about them is from someone who already knew about them. Last night was just like any other night. I was switching between listening to music and watching YouTube videos with one headphone in so I can hear my infant daughter if she cries. That way my wife can get a full night's sleep. She works at 4 a.m. in the hospital every day. When I decide to go lay down in the spare bed in the baby's room, just as I dozed off, I heard a thumping coming from the front porch. Startled at first, I opened my eyes wide and scanned the room. Realizing it was most likely my cat scratching himself on the front porch, I dozed back off. Then again, the thumping. Damn cat. Got out of bed to run him off the porch, only to see he wasn't there anymore. Now that I was up again, I wasn't the least bit tired. I figured I'll just get some tea and check Facebook while I'm up. Maybe finish the web series I was watching on YouTube. A few minutes into the video, I felt a sudden urge to look up at the kitchen window. There they were.
Oops.
the tops of two short-statured people's heads, cresting the stairs just above my window frame. The people were just short enough to not see in the window, but I could see out. I heard no footsteps on my porch as my stomach churned. But the knock was a steady, hollow thump. The very same thump I had just heard on Blame My Cat. Deciding it was best not to answer, I shut off my laptop and crept by the back door, back to the baby's room. I assumed it was some of the people from the low-income housing across the road from me, and they were high or hiding from the cops or maybe looking for my cousin who stays with me. Often, and has many friends over there. The last thing I needed was to try to explain to two stoners that I was trying to sleep, even though it was 2 a.m. It wasn't until I got to my daughter's room that the creepiness set in. The thump had moved from the kitchen to the bedroom windows.
Oops.
Both windows, a room apart, thumping in perfect time. These stoners were going to wake up my daughter if I didn't run them off now. Pissed, I went out to the kitchen, unlocked and opened the door, ready to run around the side of the house and kick some little idiot's tails. It happened then. Standing there, looking up at me, were two 10 or 11-year-old boys. The feeling of dread and the smell of mold almost made me vomit. The smaller of the two men then spoke. "May we use your telegraph?" Huh? I just stared blankly at these boys, horrified of what I then realized. Their eyes were pitch black. He asked again to use my telegraph. There wasn't a sound to be heard, no crickets chirping, no dogs barking, no cars driving by, nothing. I tried to play it cool and ignore the fact that he didn't say telephone, or phone, or cell, anything that would have made any sense of the situation, and calmly replied, "I don't have service at my house, sorry." The expressions on their face turned to rage as I finished my sentence. Swiftly, I shut the door and locked it as quickly as I could, then stumbled back to protect my daughter. I picked her up from her crib and held her close. The fact that she didn't wake up freaked me out the most, but I managed to gather my senses, enough to make sure she was still breathing and warm. Everything seemed okay with her. The thumping on the windows was back. I dropped to the floor, as close to the wall as I could, and held my little girl in my arms and wept like a child. I felt helpless and afraid. I lied there for what felt like hours and hours, crying and shaking, until I heard it, my wife's alarm clock. The thumping stopped. The instant the alarm went off, I crept to the master bedroom with the baby. "What's wrong with you?" my wife asked. "I just had a bad dream," is all I could mutter out. "Okay, well, give me the baby so I can feed her before work." I handed my wife the baby, and she fed her like any normal day. I turned on every light in the house and made coffee for her. For some reason, just having her awake really calmed my nerves. Enough to pretend like nothing happened. I walked her out to the car nervously with the baby in my arms, and I asked her not to leave until I walked back to the house. She was put off by the request, but did so to humor me. Once I was safely in the house, I locked the door again, and in the house I sat horrified until she got home. I insisted we go to the next town over and stay the weekend at my brother's house. And here I sit horrified while she sleeps in the guest room with my daughter, wondering why they stopped when the alarm went off. I think I know the answer. I was aware of BEKs. She wasn't. Every story I've read about them is from someone who already knew about them. Maybe, just maybe, knowledge of them existing is the only reason they exist. I'm afraid, and I'm sorry.
That's an interesting
thought, yeah.
Yeah, maybe knowledge of them existing is the only reason they visit.
Right. Tulpa, right?
I think, well, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's usually singular people, maybe a couple at best,
right.
Maybe an adult and a child that experience these things.
Yeah.
So I think it would matter on your level of belief in this case,
right.
to manifest it.
Probably.
So.
Or it's a magnetism thing. There's the esoteric idea of magnetism. Yeah. It's talked about often in the occult that you can magnetize yourself for things to come to you.
Right.
And I think maybe the knowledge is an inadvertent magnetization to some darker things. Maybe. I don't know. There's the old saying, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Sometimes it'll get you killed, still the same.
Yeah, you can.
I didn't know I'd die if I walked off this cliff.
Oops. Well, that's the best of it, folks. And that's about what we're going to bring you today on our Black Friday Paranormal Portal extravaganza. we hope you've enjoyed your investment of time into this fun fest. Thank you, Maggie.
Thanks,
Woo!
Maggie. Woo-hoo.
Thank you very much. All right. We always appreciate that. Thank you so much. That helps a bunch. But we are going to be back, of course. I'll be here tomorrow night with another 2-hour fun fest. So if you're just sitting around wondering, what should I do with my Saturday night? Well, you can spend it right back here, folks. That's all we got for you tonight, though. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can.